to welcome you. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's your girl, Kiki. As I said, I'm fresh coming back from Mexico, okay? So I'm Ginger Kiki tonight, all right? Ginger Kiki, so bear with me. Listen, the girl had to pull some tricks out her sleeve tonight, okay? So, y'all, I'm telling you, this is going to be a show like none other. Listen, without further ado, I would like to introduce our special guests tonight, both of them. Right here, I don't know whether this is the right or the left. You know, the phones are switched around and all. You know, you do selfies and everything gets flip flop. But over on this side, look, I'm banning Ginger tonight. Okay, this is Miss Crystal Howe. Elder Crystal Howe. She is a wife, mother of three, serves faithfully as an elder of Rehoboth International Christian Church, located in Randallstown, Maryland. She is a professional boss as well as a successful business entrepreneur. In Crystal's spare time, she volunteers and sits on several executive boards. You can find her on Crystal, Christistal, Fab, Fab, on Instagram. And your Crystal Howe on Facebook. So welcome, Crystal. Welcome. And our other special guest here on this side is none other than advocate Mrs. Tanya House. Get it correct. Mrs. Tanya House. She is a wife, a mother, and co-founder of the Jordan McNair Foundation, where its mission is to promote awareness, education, and prevention of heat-related injuries. Tanya was very instrumental in getting Maryland lawmakers to pass a bill requiring college athletic programs to create action plans to avoid heat-related illnesses and deaths. Just a few days ago, this bill was presented before Congress to be passed as federal law. You can also follow Tanya at the Jordan McNair Foundation. So welcome, Queens.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We are in the building tonight. Let's cheers. Toast to a good show. It's going to be an amazing night.
Yes.
Yeah, so as we often do on Damn Shame Podcast, we also go through what's going on in the culture. So I hope that you all have got an opportunity to see some feedback on the BET Awards. Child, let me tell you, I was watching it with a good girlfriend of mine, okay? And we were both like, we're too old for this. You know, half the people, I didn't know who in the hell they were. What songs? You know? And then it seemed like all of them had the same beat. I could be a rapper. My name is Kiki and I got a ginger wig. Like, it just, I'm like, it's too much. But there were some moments in there that I enjoyed. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see. But Miss Patti LaBelle,
Bless her
Lord bless her heart, she was trying to sing Tina Turner song. First of all, ain't nobody know the damn song, okay? You should have seen everybody was standing up and they were like, nobody knew it until she got to Simply the Best. And we were like, oh yeah, that's that. But the words all before that, ain't nobody know. I know damn well I didn't. And everybody was standing there in the audience. They standing up, straight face. And then when she got to Simply, then the homegirl didn't know the words to the song.
They said she couldn't see the prompt.
She couldn't see the teleprompter. Yeah. Come on, girl. You knew you was singing that song. They ain't just called you. Tina Turner died how long ago? I said, now that's a damn shame, Patti. Come on, Patti. Now, Patti looked real good, okay? And them heels, I said, Patti, oh my goodness, you are serving up something.
And was she 70?
70.
70 something. Damn that. Hey, listen, the girl looks amazing, but she ain't no Miss Tina Turner song either until it got to Simply the Best, better than I was like, this is a damn shame. Okay, so another highlight is that I'm a super Busta Rhymes fan. Like, I really love Busta Bus, but he got to BET Lifetime Achievement Award, and he really broke down. He was sincere in it. He said, I would be, a lie if I was not going to tell you that I don't feel like crying. He shed some tears because everybody gave him his flowers while he was, being honored last night. So it was good, to see our Black culture. But this is 50 years. We're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. And so, listen, it was a good show. The best part for me was they did all the dances for the 50 years of hip hop. So they did do the stanky leg, and then lean with it, rock with it. I was like, oh shit, I know these songs. Okay, so I'm in my bed leaning and rocking until I rock myself to sleep. All right. But it was a good show from what I saw. But all the other people chat, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't. But I like hip hop. But this new era, I got to, you got a sense. It's very different, And we got to get back to some meaningful stuff. But y'all, tonight, y'all see the vibe here. Y'all see the presence here. Let me just tell y'all, this show for me is one that was very necessary. So I'm just going to get into it because we have so much to unpack tonight. If you were around for season 1 of the Damn Shame podcast, this journey has started during the pandemic, okay? At the start of the pandemic, there were so many growing pains, but after we finished strong, I guess after maybe about 30-something episodes. We didn't know what the hell we was doing in the beginning. We just got a mic and started talking, and it just morphed into about 30 episodes. And so after that, the plan was to end for summer break, okay? The summer's coming, people are vacationing and all of that. And so unbeknownst to me, it was the start of a 1.5-year hiatus for Kiki. During that time, I suffered the unimaginable, losing my ultimate BFF, my Rollie, my confidant, my role model, my mother. Here she is. My mother. The Damn Shamers called her Mama Kiki, but I called her my bestie. There wasn't an episode held that I didn't infuse her isms into the show. Mama Kiki was truly my biggest fan and my biggest supporter. She would tune in week after week, and when the topics became too risque, she would chime in the comments, my, and just log on. She knew I knew it was off the hook, okay? She'd say, my, and log on, okay? And I respected that. After a year and a half of coming to grips with losing my mother, navigating this new life without her, and experiencing unbearable grief, I heard a whisper to keep going, keep living, keep striving for greatness. So tonight, I've asked a few of my friends, family now, look, they've been in your house, they family now, we done ate together and all that, to join me to share their experience of losing a loved one, coping with the pain, and learning to navigate this new life of good grief. Y'all, what y'all think? One word.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
It's a process.
It's a process. Y'all, let me tell you. Let's just get right into the questions. So some days, if y'all like feeling like I am, some days you feel like, I just can't comprehend what has happened. Do y'all feel like that?
Yep, all the time. And
what has happened? How did we get here? And I know, do y'all have answers for it?
No, I think in my case with losing my dad, it was just so sudden. I feel like I'm still on the journey to catch up to it. I feel like I'm running behind what happened, trying to get to that moment, still to this day.
Yeah,
And it's been a year and a half.
yeah, yeah.
And
It's been
for
about
me, and for me, it's been 5 years since Jordan passed, and I still feel like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think for me, this year I've started feeling almost like myself. Just
And it's
this
been
year,
5 years.
it's been
Wow.
5 years,
Mhm.
and
Wow.
and I just take it a day at a time.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important. So tell me a little bit about your dad and how it happened.
Okay, so my father was a very prominent man in the community. He was in good health. He had just turned 70 years old. He's a pastor in the Randallstown community. Owned a shopping center. Was very influential. A lot of people knew him. And so this one particular Sunday, I came to church. I was late, which I'm still, it's so funny how you replay the days and you're like, oh, I wish I could have changed that. But I was late because I had three small, well, at the time I had my two babies. They were 2 and a couple of months old. And I sat on the back row and I remember looking up at him and he had just got up to preach. And he looked amazing. And I said, oh, he looked good today. I said, that suit is right. He had energy, brightness about his skin. And I sat on the back row and listened to his sermon. It went smoothly. And then all of a sudden, at the very end of the sermon, he said, I'm feeling weak. And I was like, I was messing with the kids and I looked up because that caught my attention. And I looked up at him because me and him were like this, always talk every day, saw each other multiple times a day, worked together, and so very in sync with each other. So I looked up at him when he said, I'm feeling weak, and he said, I'm feeling faint. And he looked to my mother who was sitting on the pulpit, and he said, Kathy, take this mic from me. And so she came and took the mic. She started praying. The whole church started praying. Someone said, they turned to me, they said, go get your husband who was in the sound room. Holy Spirit said, don't go to the sound room, go to him. When I went to him, he was in his office behind the pulpit. He was sweating, he was vomiting. And I saw him and I said, are you okay? And he said, no. I said, are you in any pain? He said, I'm in no pain, I'm tired. And so I said, I'm going to call 911. Call 911. It took 20 minutes for them to get there, which I want to talk to you about some advocacy stuff. It took 20 minutes for them to get there. He had a massive heart attack. They brought him back a couple of times in the ambulance, but he passed.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that. And in full transparency, Crystal is my cousin, so I know the story near and dear. It was tragic for my family and my mother in particular because she was exceptionally close to Crystal's dad. So Tanya, tell us about Jordan.
Jordan, my only child. Jordan passed June 13, 2018. First, he was going into his second year of college at the University of Maryland, College Park. He played football, graduated from Madonna, 4-star athlete, never been sick, good kid, no problems. I want to say perfect, but he was perfect. So May 28th, Jordan, I took him back to school, and we had lunch. He was just coming off a break, so the next day they had preseason workout. So I dropped him off. Last thing we hugged and kissed, and I said, "Love you, love you, Ma," and kissed me on my forehead, and he went on into his apartment. And the next time I saw Jordan, it was on May 29th. He was in ICU in a cold bag, to cool him down. Got a call from the campus police, and he said Jordan had a seizure and he's on his way to the hospital, whatever, whatever. Jordan dad called me. He was like, I'm on my way to pick you up. And I was like, I said, he got the same call too from the campus police. And we riding, we had to go to Washington, Venice. And we riding, and I'm just thinking, what in the world caused him to have a seizure? Jordan never been sick,
Right.
healthy, 6'4", 320, and never been sick. So we riding, and mine just clicking. What happened? What happened? So we get to the hospital, and they said that he suffered a heat stroke.
Mm.
So all this time we was like a heat stroke, and how did that happen, and why nobody caught it, and
Right.
just so many questions was
Right.
going on, so many questions. So got him there, and they worked on him. On that Wednesday, they had to fly him to shock trauma. Um, got him to shock trauma. Um, Doctors was like, he's going to pass within the next 12 hours if we don't get a liver from him. So by that time, he needed a liver transplant. So here we go. Monday, healthy kid. By Friday, he's getting a liver transplant. So it was up and down that whole weekend after they got the liver in to make sure, his body took to the liver
Yeah.
and everything. Um, Up and down. And it got him, he was fine. And just, it's like in shock trauma, it's roll of the dice every day. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? So from that day, that Friday up to June 12th, we had so much hope. We prayed. We had the hospital was packed.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. To the point they put us on our own floor.
Wow.
Yeah, and pray, all his teammates and church people, family, friends, and like I said, we had hope up until the day Jordan passed. We were so hopeful, but by let's see, June 12th when we left the hospital, it was like a calm came over us, and it was like a peace. We went to eat, and we were sitting there laughing and telling Jordan stories, and then think about 5 o'clock in the morning on that Friday, June 13th, the hospital called Marty, and then Marty called me. And then Marty called my uncle to come pick me and my husband up. Well, my fiance at that time, pick us up to get us to the hospital because they said he wasn't going to make it. So when we got there, family was there, and we all just prayed,
Yes.
and then we said, we just had to let him go because he was brain dead. He was brain dead, and he wouldn't have any quality of life. So on the Friday, 11/26, God your will, and
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So
Definitely. It is, we have to hold on to the fact that it is God's ordained will.
yeah,
We all three share something in common in that our loved one did not have a lengthy illness. They
Right.
weren't, didn't have a real, extensive background in being, in and out of the hospital and all of that, and having to go to different treatments and everything. My story is very similar. In that, let me tell you, God's perfect timing. I'm telling you, it's going to be in the book, in the Good Grief book, when I write it, and His timing is impeccable. I had sold my old house, moved in with my mother until this house was going to be built. And so we kept waiting for the new house. September 9th was going to be the new house. We can't wait to get in the new house. Oh, it's going to be, we would ride and stalk this place. We was breaking all sorts of codes and everything, sneaking up in here, taking pictures and outside selfies and everything. I'm telling you. But my mother, we moved in. Okay, so last show was in June. We moved in July with her. And my mother, she was kind of getting sick, wasn't really feeling well, probably into August. Maybe August, she started like really not doing well. Shortly after her dad died. So when did he pass?
July 11th.
So July the 11th, she went in the hospital that next day because she wasn't feeling good. She pushed herself to go to his funeral.
Yes.
And that began the cycle of her, like, something ain't going on, something ain't right with me, but she was in and out. She would go in for a day, and then they would run tests, oh, you good, and send her on home. So I became the caregiver. So it was just all God ordained. Fast forward, I moved in with her, but it was necessary. I needed to move in with her so that I could be there and see her. And y'all, I would literally sit in a chair and watch my mother sleep. That's how much I was connected to her and was praying over her because I didn't want to see her. And so then when they ran tests, it came back. She found out August 20 something that she had lung cancer, like August 25th. And 2 weeks later, which September 9th, we're waiting for the new house to be built, but that was when she got her mansion in heaven, September 9th. And so she passed on September 9th, and it was just 2 weeks. So she went in, she was like, she was a smoker back in the day, but had stopped in the 80s, But when you smoking those cigarettes, and I guess time just caught up with it, I don't know. But the cancer was lung cancer that took my mother out. And again, it was like she found out, and 2 weeks later, the girl was gone. But I thank God now, and I'm able to thank God because she didn't suffer. She didn't have to go through chemo and radiation and have, all of these ailments and all of that. God said, no, not my child. I'm taking her. And I had to learn to be okay with that. Do you all think that God prepared you? Now looking back, do you think that God had prepared you?
Let me tell you, that's how I know, one of the reasons why I know that God is God, because like you, I was in the process of building a home, and we sold our old home, and I went in to move in with my dad. I moved in with my dad, my husband, and my boys May the 5th. We lived with my parents. I hadn't lived with my parents in years. We lived with them for 8 weeks before he passed. And when he died that day, went to the hospital, I said, God, just let me be able to say goodbye. If this is the time and you're taking him, when I get there, let him be alive for me to say goodbye. When we were there and the doctors came out and said he was gone, in that moment, I was so angry with God. Because I said, I asked you for one thing, and that was to say goodbye. But weeks later, I thought back and I saw the mercy of God in the time that I got to spend with him at the house.
Girl, give me
He
some.
prepared me everything that I remember sitting on the couch like 2 weeks before he died, and I just sat next to him, and he wasn't sick or anything. And I said, Daddy, I just love you. I said, thank you for everything. Thank you for always being a good dad. Everything I want to do. He helped us get money to go to the clothing tables. They don't want you always. And I said, wow, weeks later, I could see that he allowed me to say goodbye.
That's it. You wanted just a glimpse of time, and he gave you 8 weeks.
He gave me 8
That's how awesome God is. You know, the God that I serve, that's how awesome he is.
Awesome. So I'm thankful for that, and I feel like I was prepared.
That is it.
Yeah.
That is it. Let me tell y'all, we were in Niecy's living room. She had a rancher, and then she had a basement, 3 bedrooms and all that. But we were all, it was me, my son, my sister, and her 2 kids. So 5 of us had pallets on the floor, sleeping on her sofa, all of that. But we never, and we had more arguments in the townhouse. But it was so nice and pleasant, and everybody got along, and we only had 2 bathrooms, and it just all worked, and so we got 8 people sharing this rancher, and it just, God ordained that time for me to get the closure that I need? Did you have that?
Let's see. Let me think back. Because the day that I dropped Jordan off, we went to lunch. First, we went to Target so he can get all his apartment stuff. And I didn't go in the store with him.
Mm-hmm.
But he came out with everything that I would buy for our house.
Wow.
I was like, okay, so he's listening. He's been listening, and then that's when we went to lunch after that. So I don't think I was prepared.
Mm-hmm.
However, after Jordan died, God has given me the strength to not have a breakdown.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm prepared now to run this race
Yes.
without Jordan
Yeah.
Yes.
and just carry him in my heart forever.
Without Jordan
But
in the
physical, that's right, in the
Yeah.
physical. But I'm prepared now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
And see, God, to me, just how you said when he went into Target and he got everything that you would get and all of that. To me, what resonated just as you were talking is that your years of parenting
Yes.
were not for nothing.
Right.
And
They
you got
were not
to see
in
the
vain.
fruit
And
of
you got
that.
to see the fruit of it.
Yep.
Yes.
That,
Yes.
Tanya, I don't even remember if you remember this. And I don't know if you remember this, but our sons played Little League football together. Okay, so my son, he ain't play no damn football. He ain't going to do that. But in his defense, he sang and all that. He was over football and running them laps and them suicides.
Oh, yeah.
He was over. But we were, so they went to separate high schools,
Mhm.
but I ran into you in Sam's Club. And you were so excited. You were like, girl, I just got all this stuff for Jordan. I just moved him in. He's at University of Maryland. Oh, you get ready to move your son in? Oh, you're going to need this, that. You told me everything that I was going to need for my child. Make sure you pick this up. Make sure you pick that. Because, girl, Jordan, he got everything in his room. Okay, she hooked that brother up. You hear me? He's 6'5". That Jordan has some things. Okay? Ain't he the only child? My boy was the only child, so she gave me the blueprint on what to get Jordan. But if you could see the excitement. And I said, oh, well, I'm doing something wrong. Let me ask something. But I had a laundry bag, just the basics, But it was just so nice to, see the excitement in you. And even to this day, even though Jordan is not here in the physical, I still see the excitement that you share with the world. And you're going to talk more about what you're doing with the foundation and all of that. But y'all, here's another question. And I don't even know if we can get to the question. Are y'all in them comments? I hope y'all are enjoying this. Come on, Nightlife.
Okay, so first I want to say, I'm Scooter 08 said, let's go at the Jordan McNair Foundation.
Yeah.
Okay. Gwendolyn says she's sending light and love to all of you. Sharon the Boss says, I really do believe good God prepares you. And she definitely has a testimony. And along with that, we have so many others in there. God's First Choice is in there.
Hey,
Caesar
y'all.
G74, Mafia Pusher, A-Dub, TA80, Pappy Abby, and Corn Dog, 410 Jaren, Just Me 71. And the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
So keep it coming, guys.
And that's just on Instagram. We got Facebook and YouTube popping as well. We're going producer lady will give us some shout outs on that in just a bit. But let me just ask this. Do you feel, well, I guess I already know the answer. I was going to say, do you feel like your entire outlook on life has changed now that you've lost someone near and dear to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everything has changed.
Everything.
Because I used to wonder what I'm supposed to do now.
Yes.
What I'm supposed to do now. I was at every football game. Every time I worked 10 minutes from where College Park is. He needed the car. I would drop it off. I mean, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah, yeah. And that's the same with me. You know, I took care of my mom and I'm back and forth with, you know, doctor's appointments and making sure that I run over to the store, get her medicine. If you need some food or girl, you want to go shopping, come on, you know. So now I'm like, well, what in the hell am I to do now?
Yep.
What am I to do? And something in my spirit said, or you know, I was listening to maybe TD Jakes or something, and it dropped in my spirit. Stop trying to recreate the old life that you had before
That's
you
good.
you lost your loved one. Start to reimagine this new life. Start to get into this new realm of what your life is going to be like now. How about you? Did you experience the same?
Oh, absolutely. But I think mine is a little different from you all because it's what am I supposed to do now? But a lot of what my father left, he was in the middle of a lot of things. And so a lot of that fell onto me. And so in the midst of grieving, I'm trying to keep all of these balls in the air from dropping a lot of stuff that I knew nothing about. And so it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
But it's really, I feel like God directs you and he leads you. And like you said, life isn't going to be the same. And you just have to learn how to navigate the new normal.
Yep.
The new normal.
Yep. Exactly.
That's it. So there's so many stages to this whole grieving process and all of that. And so just let me know if you all have experienced one or more, if not all of them. First, it was shock. Then it was denial, anger. I heard you say that earlier. Depression, and then acceptance. Y'all,
I saw. I'm thinking. Yeah.
I'm still working. I think I'm still working on the acceptance.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's been a year and a half, almost 2, so I'm still in that. But all the other ones, got check mark.
Right. And I've gone through all of that, and for us, we was so much into litigation when Jordan. So okay, so here I go. I have to grieve in public and behind. It was hard. It was hard.
So you were carrying multiple balls too, because it's like you're grieving, but still trying to get this business taken care of.
That's it.
Exactly. And thank goodness for Jordan's dad. He did it all. He really did. He really did. And it's all that.
Let me ask you this. Do you all ever sense their presence?
I did.
And it's sometimes, talk about whether it sometimes are stronger than others.
I do. Especially when I'm driving, because he was always with me. And one day I just felt this go by me, and I was like, okay, because he had that particular day he had been on my mind heavy, and it was like, okay, he's okay, you know. But yeah, I mean, I just.
So yours is when you're driving.
Mine is a lot of times when I'm in the church, and like if I'm in a moment of worship, and my father was a worshiper, he loved to worship, and a lot of times I'll sense him worshiping, you know, which I know he's doing now anyway, but I'll feel his presence in worship, and you know. A lot of times when I'm coming into the church, I'm like, oh, is this going to be one of those days? But yes, I do sense his presence. And even my little boy, he went into his room one time and he was like, Mommy, Pop-Pop's in there playing the guitar.
Oh,
wow.
And that was the first instrument my father ever played, and my 2-year-old never saw him play the guitar.
Oh,
and he said, Pop-Pop's in there. He having a good time playing the guitar. So their presence is definitely
their spirit lives on, and it's real.
It's real.
And let me tell you, just as sure as their evil spirits, There are good spirits that are around us. And what they have described is what, it's healthy, it's necessary, it's part of the grieving. It is them sending God. I feel like it's God allowing them to come to, give their presence and let us feel their presence and say, I'm still with you.
Yeah.
I'm still with you. I'm right here. For me, my mother loved butterflies, loved them. And so I did a butterfly release at the cemetery during her funeral services. And so often do I see butterflies just out. And so sometimes I'm out and I might be with Nightlife and I'm like, you ain't see them butterflies? And she's like, hell no. And I'm thinking that I know what I see. You understand what I'm saying? And we over, what were we, in Cabo. And I'm telling you, we were in the middle of going ATV riding on the desert, on the beach, and all three the damn oxes and whatever was over in the corner. I thought and I'm in the back of the line on the ATV because I'm scared, right? So I go slow, and they all doing hills and all that. But I'm like, I see all of these butterflies and they just flying past me. And it was just like, it was so pretty, but it's so often I'd be like, producer lady, did you see the butterflies? And she's like, yes. I said, okay. We be in her backyard. I'm like, I know it ain't just me. And so I know that is me sensing my mother's presence here. If I'm driving in the car, I'll just out of the blue see a butterfly, go by, and I'm like, all right, Niecy, I know you here, I know you with me, and I channel her energy all the time, especially cooking. I wish I'd have wrote them recipes and all that down. So I'm telling you, that's a good thing. And don't be afraid of it. For those that are experiencing grief, embrace that, because that's your loved one letting you know that they are still with you. Producer lady, you need to tell us something.
I just want to let everybody know who's on. Chalet is on, Richard, Adrian, Juliet. A lot of people are connecting with the story, especially the C. Pitt said, so sorry that took 20 minutes for the ambulance to come for your dad. The same thing happened to your mom, so they can relate to that. Tanya's on, Simone is on. They're all asking questions about the different phases of grief. They're connecting with them, and they're saying, they are all have experienced the same different phases. Depression. One is, I'm stuck on anger.
Yes.
Things of that nature. So a lot of people are on just saying thanks for sharing, and they're connecting with everything y'all have experienced.
Oh,
saying thanks for sharing and talking about this tonight.
That is a blessing, y'all. Hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. It is so important, y'all, to be able to catch the replay and be able to share this, because I think people need to hear it. This title of the show tonight is about good grief, because I've asked these ladies to come on so that I can begin to start a good grief circle, a support circle. Just, we'll talk about that a little later. But we have to have that connection and know that, damn, it ain't just me feeling mad or angry that this happened, that I lost my loved one, or I lost them so suddenly, or they had to have a lengthy illness, or it could be a pet. A lot of people grieve their losing their animals and stuff like that. So, at first I used to say, and I'm going to be fully transparent, you ain't lost nobody until you lost a mother, But as I sit here beside Tanya, how am I to think that? Because you ain't lost nobody until you lost a child.
Yeah.
You understand? You ain't lost nobody until you lost your best friend as a dad that taught you how to love and what a true man should be and all of that. He was that person, that dude. You hear me? So I totally get it. So Tanya, let me say this. Let me ask you this in particular. So you said you are now Mrs. House, and did that happen before or after Jordan transition?
Well, my husband and I, first of all, we met back in 1985 at Coppin.
Okay.
And then reconnected 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago. At Coppin's homecoming. And it was
Okay.
Jordan and I. And he was with me all the way up till Jordan passing. But I didn't get married until 2 years ago. I got engaged, I think a year after
Okay.
Jordan passed. We got engaged.
Okay.
But Mr. House was there from
And that's key. That's important. And you know, shout out to him because some people bail. They be like, "Oh, this shit is too much for me. I can't
Mhm.
handle it." You know, so that much respect
Yeah.
to your husband. But I asked this question because what I'm dealing with now, and I know Crystal's story. She was already married when her dad had passed. But for me, I am feeling like as a single woman in between these two women who are married. Let me just rub off on them. As a single woman, I'm having a hard time connecting with a man or connecting with anything out of fear for losing him the way that I lost my mother. And I don't know how to move beyond that. I don't know what that looks like. So I will talk to men, date men, spend time with men, but it's a certain level, a line that I don't even allow to cross because I just feel like if I connect myself to anything and have to experience that level of pain anymore, it's gonna be a problem. Y'all gonna have to put me in an institution. What y'all think? Well, I mean, what should I do?
Defer to her since you were able to establish a relationship after your son died.
Right.
So how
Right.
were you able
Well,
to
we
do that?
well we were already in a relationship prior to Jordan passing, but I never thought of I didn't have a problem. That's probably because I'm thinking the house was already there. He was there. Him and Jordan would have conversations, what have you. So he was there the whole time, and comfort me the whole time. Some days I felt bad for him because I was in bad moods and I was just, but I didn't go through that. I didn't have that problem.
Yeah. So y'all, I mean, get in the comments. I don't know if you feel this, share the same sentiments, and that's the uniqueness of grieving because everybody does not grieve the same
Exactly.
way.
Yep.
It's no cookie cutter to this. Come on, Nightlife.
Hey 40 says that therapy helped them move past fear.
Yeah. And so I have been in one-on-one therapy and group therapy, and I found it to be very beneficial. What I will say for me, it was, damn, I'm not the only one that feels this way. Because sometimes you just feel so isolated and like you can't make headway. And so, that's what my grief therapy helped me with. How about you all?
I just know that I still to this day have not been to a therapist. I found my mother a therapist because the lady had one slot and I felt like she needed it way more than me. However, she then started going to this therapist. They best friends, kicking it, talking about going to the mall, and I'm over here having breakdowns on my birthday. I said, we need to switch. So I definitely think I still need to get into therapy. But I'm gonna tell you, the Lord has helped me.
Yes.
The Lord has helped me in more ways than I have learned the trueness and the realness of God.
Yes.
Through this. And also like grief, the thing I hate about grief is that it's so final. And it's like one of the only things that you can't reverse. And so how I'm looking at life now and trying to move forward, like, how you say you get stuck or you're fearful of certain things, is that if it ain't dead, you still have the opportunity to make something happen.
Okay.
If you don't like the boyfriend you with, get rid of him.
Yes.
If you don't like the job you at, get a new one.
Yeah.
One of the only final things in life is death.
Yep.
And so I'm starting to learn like how to move past a lot of my fears just by that. Like, hey, I'm not dead yet. I can do this thing.
Yes.
With God, with my faith, and just faith is believing the things that we can't see, the things that we don't think we can do. I'm like, I'm not dead yet. I'm scared of it, but I'm gonna try.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I can do this business. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I'm still breathing.
Yeah.
And you still got lots of life.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about you?
No, I haven't gone to therapy.
Really?
I haven't.
I would have never thought
I haven't.
that.
Yeah. You have a sense of strength.
You, I
and
mean, you,
calmness and peace.
you look
So
good,
we need to
girl.
rub-
And that woman,
We need to rub all over
you
you.
look good.
Yes.
And let me tell you, it's all God.
Now
It's
that
all
is it. Now
God.
that's
I'm
it.
telling you.
That's it.
I'm telling you, because in the beginning, I didn't know what I was going to do, how I'm going to make it, and how I'm going to live this life without my son. That I revolved my life around him. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I just prayed and prayed and prayed. I was like, God, just give me strength. And every morning
Yeah.
when I wake up, I said, Lord, thank you for another day. God, give me strength to make it through this day. And whatever your will for this day is, will be.
That's it.
And that's what I do every morning. But I'm telling you, everybody asks me that, how do you do it? It's all God. It's
I'm
all
telling-
God.
I
I'm
would-
telling you.
I would never believe that
No.
you didn't go to therapy.
Mm-mm.
I talked to one person, and that was in the first year Jordan died. And it's because I had to for some
Uh-huh.
legal reasons.
Uh-huh.
But when I left out of there, I was like, God got this. God got this. And I'm
Wow.
telling you, I've always, been a believer, always grew up in church. I have never had my faith tested until 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you something. I tied a knot in that faith and
Yes.
held on.
And held on.
Yes.
Because that's what I've been holding on to.
Yes.
I'm
Wow.
telling you, it's
That is-
just, it's
that is
all
so
God.
amazing.
That's amazing.
It's
Yes.
all God.
Amazing.
And let me tell y'all, as much as I get on here and cut up and all of that, one thing that I know for certain, that nothing can fill this void
Mm.
of losing a loved one. Nothing. Not a man, not food, not shopping,
Nope.
not a trip, nothing but God
My God.
can fill this void.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
conversations with your girlfriends, all that is temporary. That's
Yeah.
temporary. But God is everlasting. Y'all don't
Yep.
know. I play sermons at night to go to sleep. I read when I wake up. I'm saying thank you, Lord, for this day. Lord, thank you for waking us up this morning. That's what Nisi taught all of us to do. The Mama Kiki taught us to, say, and whatever it is. But you said something very profound about, living and, operate, like as both of you said it, about, having faith and all that and being able to sustain, and it was with God and all of that. But it was something about the healing. I don't know, but
About like moving forward.
moving forward.
Right.
Moving forward, knowing that you can, because you can still live. Y'all, I don't know if y'all experienced this, but every ailment that this woman had, I internalized. I thought I had it. Oh my goodness. I had lung cancer.
Oh, God.
I'm coughing. It's COVID now. Everybody but I'm coughing. Oh my gosh. I got it. And maybe that was the hypochondriac in me, but in my mind, I had played it out that I was going to be this woman and have cancer and oh my goodness, this is it. Y'all see them workout videos, and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to get my breath, and my trainer, health is your wealth. And I'm like, don't say nothing. I'm trying to live here. Is this what my mother felt like when she couldn't breathe? And oh my gosh, this is the big one. That's all. I keep replaying it. But what I hear is you will live and not die. You will live and not die, y'all. I went because I was having severe knee pain. Y'all seen the videos. I had severe knee pains, and that physical therapist never met me a day in life. He said, how is your soul?
Whoa.
He said, because if your soul is broken, none of this therapy, none of this physical therapy is going to work. You have to heal internally. I ain't never met this man in my life.
Wow.
Do you hear me?
Wow.
And that's what he said to me. And that thing has always stuck. So I said, God, heal my soul.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because all the other ailments, they'll pass.
Mhm.
But if you're not right internally, that
Yep.
soul is still broken because we grieving and all of that. Y'all, I'm telling you, it goes deep.
Wow.
But it ain't nobody but God. And
Yep.
y'all see this.
Yep.
Oh, Lord, we running out of time. What these ladies say, we're running out of time. But this is so good. It's just so good. Y'all getting them comments. Are y'all enjoying this discussion? I'm telling you, we just have so much. I'm blessed to figure out where we are in this. But it's just so good. You talked about you've been passed the baton. You're not the oldest, but for me, I felt like I'm the oldest now. Everybody's looking at the spotlight is on me. How am I going to handle showing my grief process to everybody around me? The spotlight's on. Not only
Yep.
did you have your family looking at you, had the world. Honey, you was national. Jordan was nice.
Yeah, right. That's all right. I was getting ready to say it was all
Jordan
Jordan.
is national, okay?
Oh, right. The whole grief process, I felt as though that my friends and my family was walking on eggshells around me because they didn't know how I was going to be, or or certain things that happened and they thought I was going to break down. And I remember when we came home from, it was either funeral home or after the funeral. No, the day that Jordan died. Everybody came back to my house, and I told everybody, you walk in this house, there's no crying, because I don't cry. So I watched my sister and my mother go upstairs, and I knew they was up there crying. So I feel as though that I had to always have a strong face for my family, and my close friends, and even some of my coworkers. Yeah. So everybody looked to me as being their strength. So
was that a burden for you, or
no, it wasn't.
Okay.
Surprisingly, it wasn't. I just wanted to let everybody know I'm okay, and if I'm not okay, it's okay. You know what I mean? But some days I just cry myself to sleep. But I just didn't want everybody to be so down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
I like at the beginning of my process, I was trying to be there for my mother because they have been married 40 some years, and she was like just not well. My mother's very strong, but it was devastating. She never lived alone in 40 some years. So all of this, I'm trying to make sure she's okay. And so I feel like that again, maybe why I'm kind of delayed in my healing, but which is fine because I would do it all over again the same way. But it's just a process, and God is going to take you through it in the time He wants you to go through it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm learning. This year my birthday just passed, and I had the worst day. Father's Day I was fine, but on my birthday for some reason I was a wreck because I remember he would be the one to call me first, like, you my favorite daughter. I'm like, I'm your only daughter. So you have those days where it catches you off guard. But I will say again, I don't know how people go through things without Christ.
I don't either.
I don't understand.
I can't imagine.
I take my hat off to you. Kudos to you because it's a process with Christ. So I can't imagine what it is without.
Right. Definitely. I'm telling you, how about holiday times? How are they for you?
It's emotional.
Yeah.
Emotional. We are a family that always get together.
Yeah.
And we just got together on yesterday for my niece's birthday, and every time I see all the family together, it's always that missing link, and I'm like, he should be here.
Yeah.
He should be here, but that link is filled with so much love.
Yes.
So it's rough, but I
Yeah.
go through emotions, but my worst time is May to June.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
my worst time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And not Christmas.
No, no. I always think, about the little things, but
Mhm.
he could always have a gift for me. Wanted to give it to me
Uh-huh.
before Christmas. I got you something. But yeah, I just think of those good memories.
Yeah.
Christmas and his birthday and things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
That's the
Holidays?
same. Well, yeah, holidays, but more than that, like to me, when it's something happening with my kids, like they have a birthday, and I'm like, wow, I would have loved for him to see that, or that's what really gets me, because I'm like, well, I had a lot of holidays with them,
Yeah.
so that I can think back on the memories. But when I see, or experience something new, I'm like, oh, I wish he would have, saw this,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's funny that you should say yesterday you and your family got together. So we had an impromptu kind of gathering here where I had channeled my mother's energy and I made a meal that she would ordinarily make. And I was like, Lord, Nisa, come on, Mama, can you come on? I need to know how to make this. And I'm like, y'all, what it tastes like? Do it taste like her? Do it taste like hers? But it was good because we laughing and we experimenting and we eating and everything's good. But I said to them, as much as I love having y'all here, it's a constant reminder that she's not here, But
Yep.
I have to say, she's not here in the flesh,
Right.
she's here in the spirit,
Yep.
and be okay with that. So that's a good thing. Let me ask you this. Have you had any, and this is for the VIPs, everybody on all these platforms. I don't know if I am the only one, and this is a very transparent moment for me, but I had thoughts of, she not here, I don't want to be here either. And I was like, sometimes, usually it's when I'm driving, and I was like, well, if I just drive off this bridge, then I could be, but then I said, well, the insurance policy ain't gonna kick in, and everybody, I can't leave the family, and so I'm thinking about all that, and I'm like, all right, God, I'm no. And so, but I've had those dark moments early on. I should say, I don't really have them now, and it's the hardest thing to keep up with the date of the year of when she passed. I just know September 9th. But it seems like forever. But I had those moments early on where I was like, I'm good not being here. You want to kill me? Okay, I know where I'm going. I can be with my mother, And so, have you all ever experienced that I don't want to be here moment?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. And I think, the reason that is because I have a purpose.
Yes.
I have a purpose.
Yes.
The pain that we have bared
You
has
turn it
turned into a
purpose.
purpose. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So we saving other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
you are.
yeah.
Yeah. That's so dope. How about you?
Girl, I can't go nowhere with them. Look, my best friend, we always tease each other. Like if she sick and not taking her medicine, I'm like, girl, take your stuff because I will come to the grave yelling at you. I gotta take care of your kids. So I know for me, and it's crazy because like my story, I couldn't have kids for a long time, and then bam, they came, and then my father passed, and I feel like even that was the Lord because they were a reason to get up.
Right.
I remember the day after my father
And he
passed.
gave you boys.
Yeah, he gave me boys. And the day after my father passed, I was crying in the bed, and I remember Noble came. I'm hungry. What? I want to eat. And I just wanted to stay in the bed, but I had to get up.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like it's always he gives you something.
Yeah.
You got your whole family that you taking care of. You can't go nowhere.
No,
So he give you something.
Yeah.
He gave you the mission of the advocacy, and You know, so he gives everybody something that's like, no, girl, you gotta keep going.
Mhm.
And that, of course, Damn Shame Podcast platform is just the beginning of this whole journey for me. But that good grief circle, that thing kept nudging on me. And it's like, we just need to get together and share these experiences. And I don't want it to be all sad and sappy and all of that, because we can uplift one another.
Mhm.
Again, I was telling y'all that the research that I had done, I'm hearing, people talk about hummingbirds, and if you look for the hummingbirds, lady, we ain't got no hummingbirds in the hood, okay? All right, ain't no hummingbirds in the hood. I ain't seen none. But I needed a platform, a support group, a network that I could relate to,
Mhm.
and we can glean some good insight from one another to help us cope. So tell me some coping techniques. Give me some cope. We already know God. God is at the
Right.
forefront. What are some other coping
Doing
techniques?
something fun. Sometimes
Yes.
when I'm sad, I'm like, ooh, what do I want to do fun? I want to go, to the amusement park or
Mhm.
just doing something fun to lift your spirits,
That's
like
it.
you would with any other
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
That's one for me.
Mine's was Amazon. I'm sorry. I had to stop. I had to stop. Yeah,
And,
shopping. I was
shopping.
shopping. I would have piles of stuff at the door.
Everything.
2 and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow.
Online shopping. I sent all that stuff back. I said, nope, this is not going to do it. So I don't know. I don't get down that often.
Mhm.
Not now.
Yeah.
So I don't get. I mean, of course, I had my days, but I don't. And I just go. The best thing for me is to just go through it and be done with it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling,
And then be done with
and
it.
just as
And-
long as you don't stay stuck. I tell
Absolutely.
myself
Yep.
that all
Yep.
the time.
Yep. Just go. Yep. Push through it. Just push through it.
And get
Yep.
up.
And get up.
I would hear this lady say, "Get up out that bed." Y'all laying all around. Get up. It's time to do something.
Yeah.
Don't it sound like
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
My.
This girl is saying some crazy stuff. But y'all, I hope that you all have gotten a lot out of this. Do we have any comments, any closing thoughts before we leave?
Denise says that her mom passed on Mother's Day last year. It's so surreal. Thank you all for sharing.
Yeah.
Shalay said, yes, Tanya, Amazon, 3 a.m. shopping. Denise also said holidays are really difficult. I mean, it's hundreds of messages in the chat.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people, Dion is saying nothing but God.
Nobody
Shannon is
but
saying
God.
that
That's my
God
sister.
was her therapist. Marquise saying, yes, focus on God and his will. So there's just a lot of people in the chat agreeing with y'all, and I'm really happy that y'all sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, and on Instagram, God's First Choice, she said this was much needed. It's Sharon the Boss. This is a great show. Hey, 40, you are super strong and still strong. Let's see. And God's First Choice said, thank you. It will be 14 years since she lost her mom.
Wow.
And this feels just like yesterday, but this show was great.
Wow.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Any parting words, something that y'all want to tell the viewers this last time, like to get through their grief?
I would just say, remember that grief is just love.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just love, and that person isn't here really for you to share it with, but it's just love. And so you got to change your perspective on grief and not always look at it as a sad thing,
Mhm.
but just thank God for the love that you shared with that person. Because if you didn't love them, you wouldn't grieve them.
That's it.
So
That's
focus on the love and the memories and ask God to bring you through.
Ditto to that. Also, that turn that pain to purpose.
Yes.
That's it.
Turn the pain to purpose, and then I know it will help. It will help.
Yeah. I'm going to say, don't stay stuck. Allow yourself the mercy and the grace to feel what you feel, but do not stay stuck in that state of depression or being, just brokenhearted or whatever. Yes, you're going to feel that, but don't stay stuck there. Find you. Find the new version of you
Yep.
and begin to live and live out loud, live boldly.
Yeah.
As you said, people get they feel like they need to walk on eggshells. No, because at first I used to say, if I don't talk about my mother, don't you talk about it. But now I'm okay with it. You want to talk about it? Okay, let's talk about it.
Right.
And now some of her friends will call me and they crying. I'm thinking, well, damn, if you're crying, what you think I feel like? But I allowed that to happen. So y'all, this has been an amazing, good grief conversation.
Yes, me
Again,
too.
I have pinned Good Grief on Instagram. Y'all can find it. Y'all, I need some affiliates. I need everybody. We're going to get some resources and everything up in there so that we can get this support circle going. This is the last show before the summer break. Yes, episode 12. So we are taking off for the month of July and the month of August, because I know y'all got all these trips planned and all these things y'all got to do, and y'all ain't got time to be listening to me rant and rave. But I appreciate y'all, I'm telling you. So listen, be sure to tune in September, but I'm going to grow along with these. If y'all willing to help me grow and become affiliates of the Good Grief Circle, we're going to grow that thing during that time off from Damn Shame Podcast. Every time I end a show, I leave a motivational thought. So tonight's motivational thought is reveal and heal. All of us have suffered from a loss in some fashion, whether it be a friendship, a relationship, a family member, or a pet. Know that God gives us the season that, and we're all just passing through those seasons, okay? So the Damn Shame platform, y'all know we Christian-based, okay? We believe and serve God and trust God, and we know that all things work together for his good, okay? So listen, talk to God continuously, reveal what pains you, what hurts you, okay? God gives us time and we waste it sometimes, all right? But the time that we give God, he never wastes. So be sure to reveal the things that are breaking your heart that you need help with. Talk to him. He wants to hear from you. Good grief is truly a faith walk. So y'all, join this journey, join this support group, hit that follow button, that subscribe button, do what you need, reveal and heal on this Good Grief journey. Oh my goodness.
I cried all night.
Yes. I'm telling you, that love continues forever and ever and ever in our hearts. Thank y'all again so much.
Thank you. And
being here. Y'all, this has been an amazing show and the start of a beautiful journey.
Yep.
Oh, the Jordan Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look.
Yep.
Just hang out with us, all right? Listen, we got a lot going on. Hey, tell us about the Jordan Foundation.
Well-
Come follow.
Follow us, JordanMcNairFoundation.org on all social platforms. Jordan Dad, the founder, I'm the co-founder, and he came up with the idea, hey, we need to save lives.
Wow.
And that's what we're doing with the foundation.
Wow.
Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. What else? IG. Did I say Instagram?
Mhm.
Okay, all social media.
YouTube. Are you on
YouTube. Yes,
Yes.
yep,
Yes, the
yep.
Jordan McNair Foundation. Let me
I had
hold it up.
t-shirts for everybody.
Thank you.
That's amazing. And look, we had gifts for them.
Medium.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So this is-
Oh, I got a
just
large.
went
I got a
to
large.
Apple's.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, I got
So
it.
that was Jordan's number, 79.
Yep.
79.
Yeah.
Wow, the Jordan McNair.
Oh,
And she has camps everywhere, right?
yep. As
Really?
his dad just did a camp in Delaware on yesterday. Last week we did Morgan, and we have some in Atlanta coming up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all. So
Yep.
these are just for boys.
All
And this-
sports. No,
All sports.
all sports. Girls, boys. Yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
all sports.
listen.
Yeah.
His legacy lives.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That is so good.
And-
That is so good.
And if we can have some sponsors, we're looking for sponsors for some of these camps. So hit us on our foundation website.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With sponsorship is definitely necessary. So here, let me tell you, Damn Shame Podcast also gives out gifts and all the things. Come on, Nightlife. We get
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful flowers.
Yeah, yes, they are.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That's the best show I ever been on. The first